Hey guys, what's up? Patrick here. I just want to make a quick video for you today about my Jeep and how it's come along. I've made some pretty big differences on it, so it's going to be a quick video, quick walk around of what I've done to it and how it's come along just in time for summer. So I apologize if the audio quality isn't the greatest. It's a little bit windy outside, but here it is. This is my 1998 Jeep Wrangler TJ with the 4-liter inline 6 manual transmission. And if some of you watched my previous video about this, I made it about 4 months ago, and that was when I just bought it. Actually, that video was made within 24 hours of me buying it. I didn't really know too much about these. I really was pretty excited about it. Bought it on the spot from a junkyard here locally, about 20 minutes from my house. So bought it for $2 grand, and my goal for this was to make it look and perform as great as it can for really low budget. So I'm into this thing for about $5 grand now. It had a full respray, done some things to the body to make it look pretty cool, and really my goal was for $5,000. You can't really get that nice of a looking Jeep, and I wanted this thing to look like a way more expensive Jeep, like something you'd be able to pick up for $10,000 or maybe $15,000. So I think did pretty okay. I did all the work to this myself. It has a green pearl, which is original color. Now this isn't the original paint, but it is the original color to the car. It did have some previous paint work. I think they were trying to patch over rust. That was on the lower areas there. Now it did have a little bit of bubbling. It wasn't really too severe, but it had it right here and in this middle area. So welded in a new panel and put some fiberglass over it, and did something on the back side too so it wouldn't cause any more rust. Now this Jeep I've done 100% by myself, you know, with paint job and installing all this stuff. I'm actually pretty proud of it. I don't mean to pat myself on the back, but you know, like with cars such as like my 911 and the 635 that's on the channel, there was a lot of influence from my dad, especially with body work and stuff like that. So this car, I never really intended it to be perfect, especially with like paint and body work and stuff like that. I got this thing done. I took a few days during the week and promised myself that by the end of the week it was going to be done. You know, meaning that if I had to, I would stay up, you know, really late at night, get up really early in the morning and just get it done. And it looks actually pretty decent. The paint finish is pretty good. The clear itself is more of like an economy kind of clear. I do think it'll last a pretty long time, but this is at least 5 or 6 times cheaper than what I used on my BMW, which was extremely expensive stuff. But I mean, there are some imperfections. Like I do have some minor runs that I ended up buffing out, and you know, some dust and stuff that fell in it. But you know, the final product is pretty good. I mean, I did want to rough coat it with like a bed liner originally, so I think this is far better than that. And I did end up scratching it right here when putting the hardtop on it. So if I wanted to, I could just maybe tape it off here and just paint it. My goal with this was to make it look something similar like the Davis Autosports Jeep Wranglers. Definitely worth checking them out. They make some really cool Jeeps. They kind of do something similar to what I've done, except they go all out. They put lift kits on them, and they have a really tasteful sort of take on these Wranglers, which I kind of wanted to do myself. And they have a few with these kind of truck light style LED headlights, which I really like. Really big fan of those headlights. Now they're not truck light brand, but I believe Cream makes them. I bought them on eBay for around $65, which I think is a steal. They seem like they're pretty good quality, but definitely was going for something that was that kind of look. And it does have the original suspension. It's not lifted or anything like that. I really do like the low wide stance on these Jeeps. And originally it came with the soft top. It came with the soft cloth or whatever half doors, which I didn't really like. But I found these sliding windows on eBay, or on Craigslist, sorry, which I was really happy with. The most nerve-wracking thing about this whole entire build was that finding all the parts and to make it look like how I wanted. I didn't want to go out and just buy a Jeep and just be done with it. I kind of wanted to find something that was, you know, really cheap that needed work and do it exactly like how I wanted and save a whole bunch of money. But these wheels, was really the first thing I did, was put these big massive wheels on it. If you go to the back, it looks really good with the spare tire. But I found the hardtop locally. The half windows I found on Craigslist too, so it really came together pretty well. Also really do like these side steps, which I also bought on eBay, or I guess they're like a step for your foot when you hang your foot out the door when you take the doors off, but I like keeping the doors on. Originally these came out to about here. They were pretty much flush with the fenders. I didn't really like it, so I cut it and kind of adjusted it. So it looks a little bit more tight to the body, kind of like how I would, you know, be a little bit more happy with it. But I don't have any more crazy plans for it as it is. I don't really want to put any big lights on it or anything. I really think it looks clean like this as it is. Those LED headlights are super bright. Kind of tinted these turning signals to kind of match the headlights a little bit because they are pretty dark. But the interior hasn't really changed all that much. The seat still looks terrible from the last time I made a video, which I've had that seat for about 4 months. Hasn't really changed much, still looks terrible. But at least when I'm driving in it, no one can see it when I'm sitting on it, so whatever. But all three seats, these two and then the one in back, I want to change out for the Sahara seats. I think it would go super nice with this. They would be kind of, the Sahara seats are like tan on the sides, and then they have like this really cool green suede looking insert on all three seats, which would complement the exterior really well. I do like the interior color of this. I think it goes really nice with the green. Really big fan of this color actually. But nothing crazy on the inside. I got the steering wheel wrap on eBay, a shift boot. It had this ugly rubber one, a radio. Nothing crazy. I got a little thing for my sunglasses. But altogether, really nice, really happy with it. Got these floor mats from Menards. And yeah, pretty nice. The only thing is that's a bit annoying is on the driver's side, whenever you want to close it, this doesn't line up too perfectly. So you kind of have to close it a certain way. You have to push this side in first, and then it closes nicer. It's a bit annoying. But whatever, it's a Jeep. See, the thing is, when I was originally thinking about what I wanted to do, I was thinking about doing like a colored bed liner on it. But I think that'd be cool at first, and then it would kind of suck in case I would ever want to repaint something or do whatever. I just think, you know, it looked kind of cheap, and I just wanted to go with, you know, traditional paint and make it look really clean, kind of like, you know, a stock Jeep with just clean, tasteful modifications. And this is a recent thing I did too. I installed or built a custom-made subwoofer. It's not going to stay open because it's kind of heavy, but made this box to kind of work around this lock here and this connector here for the third brake light. And it's cool. I got a little 10-inch kicker sub one there. I originally wanted to put the amp inside, but there was not enough room and it would probably get really hot. So the amp is actually underneath the driver's seat. And the reason why I did the amp like that is I actually wanted more cargo room. And yeah, there isn't actually that much more cargo room than what it was originally. Well, I had this big sub that kind of took up this entire area. So I kind of have half of that back. But at least with this, that I actually do really like about this Jeep is that you can actually flip the seat. There we go. And I have room to put my dog in here, which is actually pretty cool. Well, usually he would just go and sit on the back seat, but now he has a whole area for himself. And when I do get nicer seats, he won't really mess up the seats. So yeah, there was this rear tray thing back here before, and it was made out of metal and it was kind of rusting. It was, you know, kind of weird that they had that here, but you know, got rid of it. It actually looks so much better without it. But yeah, actually really happy how this turned out. Now this is kind of what I was looking for originally after selling my 911, just something that I could drive every day, I could drive my dog around in. And I had the top off of it past few days, which was actually really cool. And it's a convertible, but it's not, you know, with the hard top, it's kind of a whole different animal, but really happy with it. If I do end up keeping it for a long time, you know, I'll probably end up, you know, redoing some things like, you know, if the frame ends up becoming really bad, I'll, you know, maybe replace it or box in some areas, but it looks pretty decent. But I think for me, it's a pretty ideal Jeep. You know, it's, I'm never gonna intend for it to be a performance vehicle, definitely not, but don't really want to get it all dirty and off-roaded either, because it's just a pain to clean. But it's a really good on-road kind of thing. I mean, it still stops like a Jeep, drives like a Jeep, handles like a Jeep, which isn't exactly superb, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Like it a lot. Now, I am moving some things around. I'm moving some cars around and trying to shuffle things and get some things sold, fix up some things, sell those. So I do have a lot going on right now, but I will have new things coming to the channel. There's just a bit difficult now because, like I said, there's a whole bunch going on with cars and stuff like that. So I do like to keep things on my channel pretty diverse. I do like all different kinds of cars, you know, from BMWs, Porsches, Jeeps, you know, all different kinds of cars. So if I do have anything interesting, I will post it, and stay tuned and please subscribe. Thanks. Ready, set, go.